and everything that was done after that, and re-sterilize everything and get the machine serviced to make sure that it was working. Unfortunately, there's no way to know ahead of time if what you're opening is going to be sterile, so I mean, you would have to go back and kind of backtrack. The tape that's on there, what we learned at our meeting, basically, if you held it up to a light bulb, it would be warm enough to turn that tape black, which makes it sterilized. It's really based on that strip that's inside that 3M little indicator that it kind of turns black. There's a strip through it that turns black once it's been sterilized. The tape essentially means nothing other than that it got warm. These are our indicators, so this is what I was talking about. So when it goes in, it's kind of gray. When it comes out, it should be black all the way through. Again, with the sterilization tape, but don't go by the sterilization tape. Make sure that when you open it up that you're always checking the 3M. This is one that's really going to tell you whether or not it was sterilized on the inside.
And the sterilization tape is just a quick visual that something's been sterilized, and I have opened the drawer and found unsterilized stuff with the tape still not black that someone had thought had gone through the cycle in the drawer. And, you know, so we need to pay attention to that.
So these are the pouches that we use. Again, when you're using them, there should always be a 3M indicator inside of it. There should be the sterilization tape. If you're putting something in there that has a sharp tip on it, we have those yellow covers that are going to go over the end of it to keep it from poking through. Make sure that it's labeled correctly, and make sure that your seal is tagged. I have found some where the seal is kind of wrinkled. If that happens, just start over. Your seal on that tape when you fold it over should be nice and smooth. There is a stand-up stand that goes inside of the autoclave. I could not find a picture of it, but it's basically a bunch of little slats. So if you've got anything in a pouch, it should not be laying down flat in the autoclave. It should be standing up in there, and that would include like your stent pullers. They should be lined up in there. So our mastectomy sets would go on the trays. The biopsy gun, I've been doing in the stand-up one as well, so they're not touching and they're standing up on end to end. And then we talked about the shelf life. It's sterile until the sterility is broken. I mean, if you get something out and you're questioning the sterility on it, don't use it. You know, and if something is maybe 5 years old and it looks like it's been through the war, don't use it. I had a set, something in a pack, I can't remember what it was, but it was dated like 2001. And even though it still looked sterile, I did go ahead and get it re-sterilized because it was a really long time. Wrapping of the instruments, we double wrap everything in the blue wrap. So you're going to put your 2 blue wraps down. You're going to put a towel down with some 4x4s. You're going to cover your sharp tips again, like basically that's going to be your needleless or your scalpeless vasectomy instrument. You're going to put a 3M indicator inside. Now in the past, it was like who could wrap it the tightest. I mean, we had to see, but now, exactly, we have learned through our training that Lori set up for us that it should actually be loosely wrapped. So once you set the instruments down, instead of wrapping them up tight, right, we kind of let them fall apart. They want to be able to shake around inside the sterilizer, and it's actually going to do a better job. They should not be locked shut. They should be open. They have to be wide open, but they should not be clamped shut at all. Then we kind of wrap them up like an old diaper would be. So you're gonna have your instruments in the middle. You're gonna fold your towel up over it. Then you're gonna kind of come up from the bottom and fold it down, make like a little triangle there. Again, you're gonna bring your sides in and do the same, and the top and tuck it in. Once you're done, then you're going to not to wrap. I've seen them wrapped pretty tight, but put enough tape on it so that it's gonna stay sterile, especially where any of your edges are showing. Again, make sure that you're labeling it correctly. Everything that we talked about before. Your initials, the date, the load number, and what's in it. If there's anything special that you need to know about it, put that on the tape as well. And again, it's sterile until sterility is broken.
One strip of tape, really, 1 or 2, but like some of the people are making it
wrap
really
up
difficult to
around, yeah,
open them.
open.
It shouldn't
I put
be
2
that
on.
way.
I put 1 on each
Yeah.
side. No. So this is just showing you the front panel of the machine. So the couple of things that we use is you've got the one that we always use here is this one. It's got a picture of a shirt on it. That's saying that it's a wrap. Anything that's wrapped is right here. If you're doing the maintenance cycle or you're flashing, say, vasectomy instruments, because you've got a really busy day, the flash cycle, what it does is it does the same thing as this does as far as sterilizing it, but there's no dry time. So you're saving 30 minutes. Now, it's kind of misleading because it'll say that it can be done like in 8 minutes, but it takes probably 10 minutes to warm the water up. So even though it's an 8-minute flash cycle as far as sterilizing it, they have to get the water hot first. So what I did one time when I knew we were going to flash was I actually ran an empty flash set ahead of time. It warmed the water up, and then it really was like about 8 or 9 minutes. This here is your sterilization settings. Make sure that when you come in, it should always be, the temperature should be 273, your steam time should be 8 minutes, and your dry time should be 30 minutes. The only one who really would be changing that would be myself if I'm doing the maintenance on it, or as well as Leslie, because she's the backup. So we would change that when we run the Bowie Dick test, when we run the spore testing, we would change those times. Otherwise, you should never be changing them, but just make sure that it's always on the wrap one, because I just found out from Laura the other day that when I was changing the settings, it does not automatically default back to the original setting. So if I were to forget to put it back, it could have the wrong setting in there. So just always make sure that you've got 273, 8 minutes and 30-minute dry time. If you get any questions, you can come and see me. This one here is used when we are doing the monthly maintenance on it, so you don't need to worry about that. That's just letting water into the machine. And there's your start button. Down here is your door close button. We've gone back and forth on how tight to close the door. We were originally told tighten it until the light comes on and that's good enough. Then we were told tighten it a little bit more, and then we were told finally that it should be hand tight. Not Jason hand tight, because then we can't open it. But when the light comes on, it's not good enough. So what's happening was the steam was coming up, and we were continuously running out of water in the machine. So tighten it till the light comes on, and just give it like another turn until it's nice hand tight. All right. So this is the weekly maintenance that we do on it. Leslie's the backup. I do most of them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So these are our spore tests. When they come, they're both purple. We take one of them, and that's our test, and we run it through the autoclave inside of a vasectomy set. So it's kind of like the deepest thing that we're going to do. What that should do is kill the spores in it. We then take it, and it's like one of those little snap bottles. We snap both of them and put them in the incubator, where they incubate for 24 hours. The one that was through the autoclave should remain purple. It should grow no spores. Once we break the capsule, it's allowing food into the spores. The one that has not gone through the autoclave, it should turn yellow, meaning that it grew spores. So that we were controlling the unit.
What kind of spores?
I don't know.
Mold or what?
I don't know.
Bacterial,
Yeah.
because the spores are the ones that are the hardest to kill.
Right. So we put it in the front of the machine, which is the farthest away from the heat, and in the middle of a vasectomy pack, and that's where we run the test on it every week. So on Tuesday, we put the test in. On Wednesday, we resolve the test. On Wednesdays, we run the Bowie Dick test on it, which is just another test to check for sterilization. It's a packet about this thick, a very densely packed papers and sponges, and in the middle of it is this paper here, and what it's doing is it's just showing that it got hot enough to turn this indicator black. And we run that once a week, and that's the one where I have to change the settings on the machine. So you guys don't have to worry about that, but it's just a 4-minute cycle with no dry time, and again, it's just another check that the sterilization is working. If any of these were to fail, we have a whole policy set up where we have to send the machine in and run like 6 tests on it, so hopefully the machine never fails.
And so you now all know what a Bowie Dick is. It's not something that our female patients are
Yeah.
using. That is what the Bowie Dick
But we
is.
did the test we run.
Hey, there was questions. I'm just
Yes,
trying to
that's my
clarify
question.
that.
All right, so the monthly maintenance, again, is done by Leslie and myself. It's done once a month or approximately every 20 loads. It has to be done when the machine is cold. We put a cleanser in the bottom of the machine. We run a cycle through. We empty out that water. We refill it with clean water. We run the cycle through again. We empty out that distilled water only. We fill it back up again, wipe it down, check the seals. And that's what we run it monthly. And then once a year, we change the air filtrant, which I just did that in September. So these are things that you guys don't need to worry about, but just know that they are being done. A couple of key things is make sure you check the water level after each one, and that's that thing on the top you can pull up. There's a little like stopcock that pulls out. The water should be right below that level. Distilled water only. Like I said, almost everything that you do is going to be a wrap cycle unless you're flashing a vasectomy set. Tighten the door, like we said, tighten the door an extra half a turn or more so it's hand tight. Check your tape. That's really all you can do when it comes out is make sure the tape was indicated was triggered, document it in the book, and label it correctly. And I think everybody does a great job of those. And we probably have to go, you want to do the Euroflow quick?